Hello, say hi to a happy day and enjoy listening while I read to you a story. A Friend for Philippe. It was a beautiful sunny morning when Belle arrived at Philippe's stable with a special surprise for her friend. Guess what I have? She called happily as she hurried to his stall. The first carrots of the season, Philippe. I picked them just for you. Philippe was not happy as Belle had hoped he would be. He sniffed at the bunch of carrots, but when Belle offered him one, Philippe gently butted her hand away. Is there something wrong? Belle asked, alarmed. Philippe was always hungry. Philippe hung his head and sighed a little sigh. There was something wrong, all right, Belle thought. Philippe was the gloomiest horse she had ever seen. Belle decided that she simply had to cheer up Philippe. But how? If only you could talk, Belle said to Philippe. You can tell me exactly what to do. But he couldn't, so Belle would have to figure out on her own. She hurried to the library and gathered all the books about horses she could find. Then she sat down to read every single one of them. But the books didn't hold the answer she was looking for. I know, she thought. I'll ask the prince what he thinks. She found the prince in his study and explained everything to him. I wish I knew what Philippe needed, she cried. Do you have any suggestions? The prince thought for a moment. Maybe a walk would do him good, he said. A good walk always used to cheer me up. Of course, Belle agreed. That's a wonderful idea. Quickly, Belle changed into her riding clothes and hurried to fetch Philippe's saddle. When he saw her coming, he perked right up. Silly me, what was I thinking? Belle said as she saddled him. You'd really like a nice walk, wouldn't you? Belle led Philippe to the edge of the forest where the royal orchards began. The sight of all the delicious fruit gave Belle an idea. Would you like an apple? Belle asked. Go ahead and choose one. Following Belle's suggestion, Philippe wandered from tree to tree, eyeing each apple and even sniffing some. But soon his head was hanging and his steps were slow and heavy. It was clear his heart wasn't in it. Still, Belle did not give up. They continued to a wide open meadow. You know, Belle said, I bet a good gallop would do the trick. She leaned forward and snapped the reins, giving Philippe's sides a firm nudge with her heels. As if to tell her, wrong again, Philippe stopped, leaned down, and nipped at the clover. Oh, Philippe, Belle said in despair, I just don't know what else to do. Then all of a sudden, Philippe's ears pricked up and his head snapped to attention. Belle barely had time to sit up before Philippe charged off like a racehorse out of the gate. Whoa, boy, Belle cried, nearly falling out of the saddle. Philippe, where are you going? But Philippe just charged on straight into the forest. At last they emerged from the trees into a clearing filled with beautiful wild horses. Belle and Philippe stared at the herd before them. Then Philippe went, and several of the wild horses answered him. Finally, Belle realized what Philippe had wanted. It wasn't an apple or a run. He had wanted to be with other horses. Well, go on, Belle said as she swung down and took off. Philippe saddles, go have fun. She didn't have to tell him twice. Philippe trotted eagerly over to the herd. All afternoon, Belle watched Philippe race and play. Soon he had even made a new friend. The two horses chased each other around the clearing and dozed together in the warm sun. All too quickly, the day was over, and the sun began to set. Oh, goodness, cried Belle. We've got to get going. So she put Philippe's saddle on and they started back toward the castle. I promise we'll come back soon, Belle told Philippe. As they made their way through the meadow, Belle found herself wishing Philippe had a horse friend at the castle. Then she heard hooves behind her and turned around. Well, look at that, Philippe. It's your new friend, Belle said. Belle and Philippe slowed their pace, and the shy horse drew closer and closer. By the time they reached the castle, the two horses were walking side by side. Welcome to our castle, Belle told the new horse when they arrived. We're honored to have you as our guest. And to show the horse she meant it, Belle hurried to fix up the stall next to Philippe's. There, she said when she was through. Now this looks like a stable where a horse or two could live happily ever after. And that was exactly what they did. The end. I hope you enjoy listening to the story, A Friend for Philippe. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to listen to more of our favorite book stories. See you soon!